Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Games with Aaron. I will be playing a game that I made over the weekend with Greg and Dale for the Global Game Jam. It is called Hermes. It will be on your screens very shortly. And yeah, had an absolute blast making it, although I really did need to sleep a little bit more. I didn't sleep at all Saturday night. Was powered through with coffee and giant Skittles. But let's get started. So, Hermes, you start on the floor, which is a little ominous. There's a torch ahead of you, perhaps indicating that you might want to pick up a torch. Maybe it's pointing at something you need to interact with. Who knows? Maybe it's good game design. We'll find out. Let's stand up and see what's going on. So we really did try and go for something atmospheric this time round. I think Greg did a fantastic job with the lighting. Let's pick up our torch. Nothing of use. Well, I think we need to fix the power. There's a hole there, glowy hole. This looks like the perfect place for coffee in the morning. Oh man, I like these chairs. I swear, at some point I need to get Greg to model something that I can actually buy. Aha, power cores. Let's have one of those. I can only carry one thing. So when we originally designed this room was a lot darker. I like the idea of needing the torch to look around instead of it just being atmospheric. In the end, we'd settled on it just being atmospheric for a very obvious reason, which is I dropped the torch and now the room is dark. It would be easy to get stuck on here. It would be easy to get stuck in the corner as you're trying to move around. So we thought we'd light it up just enough for you to see the geometry, but if you do that, then obviously you don't need the torch, which is a shame. We didn't really have time to put anything else in that needed the torch, so let's go and stick this in. Oh man, that's always satisfying. It's just an interpolation from the hands to a point in there, but with the rotation it always looks cool. Ooh. This sequence I'm really happy with. We didn't actually plan the shutters to open initially. We planned the game out in 4 sections, which was... Oh, I won't tell you because it'll be spoilers. But 4 sections, starting with you waking up and seeing the torch. And obviously we can't plan everything, and everybody gets to take some liberties as we're developing. For instance, Greg added these shutters, which sort of introduce the fact that you're out in space. Up to this point you haven't seen space. You could be underground. And the torch, if I can go find the torch again, something that Greg modelled, my idea to put in, but Dale did a fantastic job at introducing a flicker. So he was thinking about what to make the torch sound like, which is a bit of an odd thing. What does a torch sound like? Nothing really. But he wanted it to have this electric buzz, and while he was playing around with that idea, he thought, well, what if it blinks? Particularly if you're in the dark, it would make you feel like, ooh, spooky. My torch might go at any second. I think it blinks every 5 to 15 seconds. Ooh, there was 1. I think there's a random number of blinks as well, so... Right, so we've got a computer screen on here. Oh, so torch away. We need to log in. Let's try something silly. Guess we need to find the password. Ah, Hangman. Ooh, there's notes on the Hangman. Oni. Holy? Homie? We need new whiteboard pens apparently. Days till home 193. Travelling for a while. Tried a couple of different letters. We're almost dead, so we got to guess right next. And yes, Ah, no, post-it note. Someone solved it for us. LNY. LNY. Lonely. Alright. This place does feel kind of lonely. Great. Absolutely great. This is just what I wanted. Communication array error. This is what I wake up for in the mornings. Checking systems. Mechanical malfunction detected. External manual reset required. Airlock access granted. We're going outside, boys and girls. We're going into space. It's the best place to be. Got our spacesuit. Look at that helmet. Is that got a crack on it, or is that a model? Oh no, it's just the lips of the helmet there. I've always liked doing little sequences with doors. In the other games that we've done, I like putting elevators in. It's a running joke now. This is basically, I guess, this game's version of the elevator. So trying to get the atmosphere, as I said at the beginning, trying to get that nailed was the goal. I think we really did make it feel like you're out in space. It was a lot of fun to do. Got little like air pistons, I guess, just like pushing you around. Let's fix the communication array, which is what we came out here to do before we run out of air. So the original design for this was that you don't have an oxygen tank. It's kind of ruined a little bit by the audio, but got CO2 saturation down in the corner there. If you run out, you'll die. I'm not gonna die because I'm great at the game. So let's get. I say run out. You can't run out of CO2 saturation. You become saturated with CO2 and then you die. But yeah, so the idea was that you were going to take a deep breath and it was going to be really stressful and that you already got a certain amount of time because you're like, and then taking a deep breath going out. But it really didn't sell it. I think that was a communication failure on my part, that I had this idea of what the sequence was going to be like, and Dale went off and did the audio for it, and I couldn't ask him to go and do it again because we were so limited on time, so had to use what we had. But I still think the sequence is fun. It nails going outside, being in space, limited amount of time. That all makes sense. There's no real downside there. But I think we missed a trick with selling the danger of it, the intensity of the scenario. So now we fixed the communication array. I think we might be able to use the computer again. We can. This is something that I did want to communicate to the player a little bit better. So the theme for the jam was lost and found. The idea is that you're lost at space. I'm never a fan of beating the theme into the player, like putting the words on the screen or whatever. But it would have been good to at least have some part of the flow indicate that the goal is to send a distress signal. Whereas at the moment it's just like turn on the computer and it's the array's broken, go and do this thing. It's kind of you don't feel like you need to do it. You feel like you're told to do these things, which is it's poor storytelling. But you know, again, 48 hours. What can you do? All these things I was quite aware of. It's just the time to fix them. It takes time to implement new systems and features and stuff, and trying to do it in the bare minimum and keep a nice level of polish is quite hard. So that the broadcast is failing. Oh, nope, so does our gravity. This is a lot of fun. Just reusing the outside gravity mechanic inside. We actually originally planned to have the whole ship turning, but there were implementation reasons why we couldn't do that. It was going to take too long. You know, lighting, we couldn't bake, all this sort of stuff. But at the very least, having props like these just floating around the room could have been a lot of fun. The zero G is cool. You know, watching things bounce around in zero G is very, very cool. So just having props like lights and paper and pens and coffee mugs and stuff like that would have been good. But that's more work on Greg than is fair, to be honest. Like, he modelled the entire ship. He did all the lighting. You know, there's a lot of work to do. All these assets, like the whiteboard, he drew all those. Yeah. Whee! Right, let's go and find out what we've got to do. There's an alarm going off. going off up here. Oh, it's another switch. Okay, which guess means we need another power core. Let's get one of them. Hup. Alright. God damn, that alarm is so loud. Get in there. Lovely jubbly. Let's get the gravity back on. Ooh. Disco lights. Ah! Okay, maybe someone did hear our distress signal. And there we go. That's the end of the game. It was a lot of fun to make, genuinely. And it was really nice to be focusing on something that wasn't just game mechanics. I mean, obviously the interactions I wanted to feel polished. You know, picking stuff up is fun, throwing stuff around is fun, just character movement is fun, like when you're out in space. But it's not usually our focus is those parts. That's what we consider to be the game, and to focus on atmosphere instead and try and sell this place as real was something that we've not done before, and it was really enjoyable to switch focuses like that. It also meant that at the beginning, as I mentioned, there was the 4 stages. So now I've completed, I guess I can go through them. We had the learning. Actually, I'll tell you what. I'll bring up my notes, and then I can read them off exactly as we planned them. Assuming I still have my notes. Yeah, here we go. So, figure out you're in space was the first chapter, if you will. So you wake up, get your torch, you have to pull the lever. Oh no, it doesn't work, so you've got to find a power core. And then shuts all come up and the lights turn on. The next section, section 2, is figure out you're lost. So you need to go to the terminal in the room, you work out how to log in, it's your puzzle, and then you get told that the computer is trying to send a distress signal but is unable to, and the communication array requires a manual reset. Funny that I've got that in my notes, but I didn't actually write it on the board. That's failure on my part, I guess. It's just lazy writing, just slapped in communication array. I know what the player needs to do. I don't need to explain it to them. Third part, that's really annoying. I want to change that now. Third part, contact someone else. So now that you know that you're unable to send the distress message, you've got to go and fix the things that you can do it. So off you go outside, airlock, 0G, fix the communication array, come back in. When you get back in, the original plan was that there was going to be like debris hitting the ship, and that, as I said, the ship would then go into a crazy spin, and that getting around would be really difficult. And I had this grand plan for the finale for it to be incredibly chaotic and really feel like you're in space. But it was just way out of scope, too much work. And as I say, rotating the ship came with a ton of technical problems. The first time I tried it, the ship would rotate, but the way that the character's collision works with the environment meant that if you stood still, you'd go through walls, and then you'd end up outside, which is just broken. So I didn't want to spend too much time trying to fix those kind of bugs, so I focused instead on trying to polish everything up and just get the bits that were done in as good a state as possible. So we focused on the 0G for that section and the gravity switch, and we were able to put a bit more time into that ending sequence. So I thought falling down when the gravity turned on was quite nice, blending between the in-game play and the cutscene was something that we'd not done before as well. So that was an interesting learning experience. At least not in this game, not in a game jam settings. We've never done cutscenes, and that's it. Those are the 4 sections. Figure out you're in space, figure out you're lost, contact someone else, and then you get rescued. So, yeah, I say rescued. That was really the theme we wanted to take away, was that it's not always, you don't always want to get found, because someone you don't want might find you. Lost and found being the theme. But yeah, there you go. Still got the game running here. I'm not sure if that was up on screen when I tabbed out there. Hopefully it was. So yeah, there you go. Let's have a little run around again. One other bug that I fixed right at the end was picking up these. Originally, they both had collision, so they'd bump into each other. So I'd grab one and drop the other, and picking up the power core would ping the torch off because of the physics depenetration. So I ended up just turning off collision on the object you're picking up as you pick it up. So if I crouch down here, totally forgot I put crouch in the game. Pointless, there's no reason to do it, but hey, got crouch. If I pick this up, it goes through the object. But as soon as you drop it, it's physical. So it doesn't, you don't notice that it's lying to you, it's fake. So if I pick this up, you should just have to see the torch drop onto the floor as the power core comes up towards the camera. Yep, exactly that. What it means is that you don't have problems with it getting stuck in geometry as you walk around corners and all that sort of stuff. Whereas before, originally it'd be making this bang 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 noise against the wall as you're doing this kind of stuff. Whereas I think player doesn't notice. You're not rubbing yourself up against walls, and if you are, you kind of expect a little bit of glitching. So there you go. That's enough of me talking about bugs and mechanics. Thanks for watching me play. As I say, it was a lot of fun this jam, and yeah, looking forward to the next one. Whee! Alright, toodle pip, bye!